All right, I just want to do a quick video here talking about the quick hitting clipper system that is going to be traversing across the upper Midwest into the north central U.S. across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic before heading out to sea over the next 2 days. And right now we have some winter storm warnings that are in effect across a large portion of the upper Midwest, including Billings, Montana, Glasgow, Montana, and Miles City, where a general 4 to 8 inches of snow is expected, with 6 to 12 inches anticipated for the higher elevations. And then we do have winter weather advisories extending down into North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa. And that is a region where we are expecting 1 to 3 inches during this event. And then I do want to show you here, I'm trying to do some controls on my tablet here, but also doing controls on my mouse. So I'm kind of going back and forth right now. I'm trying to figure something out to make better videos and make them a lot easier for me to make. So I'm trying something on my tablet here. But I want to show you, where am I at here? All right. This is the winter storm warnings that are also in effect across portions of the Ohio Valley, Central Appalachians, and southwestern PA, where a general 2 to 5 inches appears likely in the warned area, with 6 to 10 inches of snow expected in the higher elevations of the Appalachian mountain range. And I want to show you, we're going to move on to some model guidance here. Let me minimize that and minimize this. We're going to use Pivotal Weather. I'm thinking about getting another subscription to Pivotal Weather because it does seem to have improved over the last few years since I canceled my subscription. So I think I'm going to try to get another subscription here for Pivotal Weather. But let me start with the upper air map. I should have already had that pulled up, but I did not. All right, let's load this in here. This is the European model, and I just want to, let's move it forward here. And here you can see the, oh, there, where we are. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is the piece of energy that is moving into the upper Midwest that is going to be associated with this clipper system. And it moves into the upper Midwest through tomorrow morning, and it pushes south, digs south, pushes through the Ohio Valley, through portions of the Mid-Atlantic, and then a positively tilted trough, and heads out to sea. And the GFS shows a very similar solution to the European. No surprise. Let's show you that here real quick. We're just going to do the upper air map. And here you go, you see the piece of energy that's associated with this clipper system moving into the upper Midwest, moving into portions of the Ohio Valley by tomorrow, or by moving into portions of the Ohio Valley through tomorrow into Sunday, and then it positively tilted trough and head straight out to sea. And this is going to bring a region of light to moderate snow for a large swath from the Midwest through the Mid-Atlantic. And Philly, you are in play, and even parts east of the I-95 are in play for this system because it will strengthen as it hits the coast. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a region of 3 to 6 inches of snow along the coast of New Jersey. I'll show you that here real quick. I'm just gonna do the GFS first. All right, let's see here. Where's the precipitation? There we go. Load that in quick. All right, so let's move this forward here. So here you see the clipper system heading south into South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana. Moves across portions of Iowa through tomorrow morning, and then starts to affect portions of the Ohio Valley tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening, and southwest PA. Higher elevations of West Virginia. Higher elevations of West Virginia is where you're going to see that region of 6 to 10, possibly up to a foot of snow. And then as it hits the coast, it does strengthen, and the tail end of the system does result in some light to moderate snow across portions of southeast PA. And I think Philadelphia, you are in play. I'm thinking more along the lines of a coating to 2 inches for you. Nothing major, but I do think you're in play for this one. And then portions of New Jersey and Delaware and even Maryland, you might get a few inches of snow out of this. I would say likely 1 to 3 with isolated 4 to 5 inches possible. And the European does have a very similar solution. So I'll show you the European here before we go. The European model, let's show you here. This is Clipper system moving into Montana, North and South Dakota, moving across portions of Iowa, moving into the Ohio Valley through tomorrow. And then it kind of breaks up here, as you can see, and so did the GFS. It breaks up over central PA when it passes over the Appalachian Mountain Range, because there's really not a whole lot of moisture with this system. It's a very weak system. And then it does, as it hits the coast, it hits this kind of frontal boundary that's sitting here, and it does end up strengthening along the coast. And it does bring another region, like I showed you earlier with the GFS model, across portions of New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and even up into Connecticut and Massachusetts, eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. A period of light to moderate snow, bringing possibly a few inches. Again, I think 1 to 3 is the best bet, with isolated 4 to 5 inches, maybe along the coast, where you can get some heavier, maybe a heavier snow band to form, but really nothing to write home about. And then this system is responsible for delivering us the cold air that we're going to be dealing with here for at least early next week, before it rebounds temperature-wise mid to late week. And I will show you that here. Let me find the temperature. There it is. All right, so here you can see the system. I'll show you here. You see the cold Arctic air coming down in, draining down into the upper Midwest, into the Ohio Valley, and then into the Mid-Atlantic. And we are locked in the cold for early next week before temperatures do rebound, especially ahead of our next system here that's going to cut up through the Great Lakes region, and that will help us rebound temperature-wise by late next week. And then we do get another cold shot here coming through. But yeah, that's it. Right now we're just in the battleground between cold and warm. When does the cold finally come and stick with us for a while? That remains to be seen. But right now we're just in the battleground between warm and cold. Eventually, hopefully I can put out a forecast for Christmas Day for you guys, so that you guys can start planning your holidays. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and enjoy the light snow possible this weekend. And thank you guys for watching.